Hello, and today we are going to continue with the current electricity topic, and we are going to start a very important topic of current electricity, and we call that as the Kirchhoff's law. Now, Kirchhoff's law is a law given by scientist Kirchhoff in the year 1842. Okay, and what is the use of this law? Now, this law helps us to find the direction of current with its value in a complicated circuit which have many branches. Okay, but for ISC we will not go for many branches because ISC has restricted more or less, or at the most 2 or 3 branches only, not more than that. So we will try to start understanding the concept of Kirchhoff's law first, and then how it is used in analyzing a circuit, especially to find the value of current in any resistor and with the direction. So Kirchhoff's law has two laws basically. So the first law, so with the objective in our mind that we are going to study Kirchhoff's law, let's start doing it. First law, Kirchhoff's first law, also known as the junction rule, it says that algebraic sum of current at a junction is 0, meaning if I take the algebraic sum of all the current, it will end up to 0. What does that mean? It means, suppose if this is a junction, and at this junction let us say current I1 is entering, current I2 is entering, and let us say current I3 is leaving out, current I4 is leaving out, and current I5 is leaving out. So as for the Kirchhoff's first law, we use a very small sign convention over here. We take the current entering as positive and we take the current leaving as negative. And what does the algebraic sum means? Algebraic sum means current entering, which is positive, minus current leaving, that is I3 minus I5 minus I4. This whole thing must be equal to 0. That is the whole concept here. Algebraic sum of all the current at a junction is 0. Now, it has much more easier way to remember it. If I use this mathematical step over here, I will get the answer as I3 plus I4 plus I5. Okay. What does it mean? It means simply like current entering is equal to current leaving. That much. Okay. If the current entering is I1 and I2, add them up. And if the current leaving is I3, I4 and I5, then add them up. And they are equal. So amount of current entering equal to amount of current leaving. Why this is happening? Because it has a physical significance. And what is the physical significance? The physical significance behind this is conservation of charge. This they ask for 1 marks, is conservation of charge. Charge cannot be created nor can be destroyed. So at the junction is not a source of charge, nor the junction plays the role of sink of a charge. So at the junction neither a charge can be created nor it can be destroyed. So amount of charge entering should be equal to amount of charge leaving. Okay? And the easiest law, first law. Then comes the second law. Second law is called loop rule. It says that algebraic sum of potential drop or potential change in the entire loop, okay, the loop has to be a closed loop, must add up to 0. Okay, so the algebraic sum of potential change or potential drop or potential difference, algebraic sum of all the potential difference in a closed loop always adds up to 0. So in a simplest form, it is given as this is potential difference and this is summation. So algebraic sum, and that must be whole as equal to 0. Okay. Now if I say that I have a EMF of E, that means the potential drop across this is also E. Because in a loop, in a circuit, we encounter battery, we encounter resistor. And what is the potential drop across a resistor? Potential drop across a resistor is IR. So when I say this, it includes, if you are having resistance, this includes IR. If the loop includes EMF, then this delta V includes EMF also. So when I say algebraic sum of potential difference, this potential difference includes EMF as well as potential drop equals to IR across a resistance. All that should add up to 0. Now how exactly this goes on and how to write the equation of loop rule. To do that, I'll stick myself to the rule given by ISC. From book to book it varies and from teacher to teacher it varies. So I'll stick what ISC has given in the syllabus and I will do as per that. If anybody else is teaching you physics or if you are following any other video, they may slightly differ, but trust me, at the end result is same. Now what ISC says that think of a water flow. Water always flows from high potential energy to low potential energy. Forget the energy, just consider the potential. So water flows from high potential to low potential, correct? When the water flows from high potential to low potential, you don't have to do work on the water because the water will flow by itself, okay? But what if you have to send the water or you have to make the water flow from low potential to high potential? In that case, you have to do some work on the water. Okay. So with that analogy, it says that if a current is flowing through a resistance and if you are going in this direction, you will understand what I mean here. I'm going in this direction, I'm going in this direction. This you will understand very soon. Okay. Suppose if you are going from here to here, that means you are following the direction of current. So when you move in the direction of current, current always flows from high potential to low potential, correct? So when you move, you don't have to do any work. Who is doing the work? The current itself is doing the work, or the battery itself is doing the work over here. So when the current flows from high potential to low potential, in this case, when you write potential difference as IR, you have to use a minus sign over here. Okay? When you go from here to here, let us say this is your current I, and you are moving in this direction. Okay? That means you are moving from low to high. Whereas the current is flowing from high to low. So when you move from low to high, you are going against the potential difference. So when you move against the current, in that case, you will write IR as positive IR. Okay? I try to understand in this manner. Just imagine you are trying to swim downstream. Now, you can swim downstream very easily, so basically you are not doing any work. But when you are swimming upstream, you have to do some work, right? Positive work. So when you are going against the flow of current plus IR, when you are going in the direction of current, that is the downstream minus IR, this is your upstream plus IR. So when you move in the direction of current, negative. When you move opposite direction of current, positive. Okay? So this is your movement, how you are moving. This is your movement. And as I told you, you will also encounter some cells also when you are moving, correct? So a cell has a positive high potential and a low potential. So when you are moving in this direction from a cell, that is from positive to negative, if the EMF is E, then you will write this E as negative because you are going in the direction of high potential to low potential, that is you are going downstream. But what if you are moving in this direction? That means you are encountering the negative first and then going to the positive. That means you are going to the low potential first and then going to the high potential. So you are moving upstream. So in this case you will write plus E. This is what the sign convention laid down by ISC. Okay? If you do exactly opposite of this, still you will get the same answer, the same correct answer. Okay? But don't mix up. That's the only thing. What I mean to say here is, if you take movement from high to low as positive, then you will take the movement against the current as negative. If you go in the direction from positive to negative as positive, and if you go from negative to positive as negative, still you will get the same answer, but stick to this sign convention, upstream and downstream. So remember, when you are going upstream, it's positive, and when you are going downstream, that means you are taking as negative. Okay, so let's first do some questions, and then it will be clear to you what I exactly mean here. I just help you to write the equations. Okay, so I'll take the circuit. Now you will realize that why this Kirchhoff law is important and what is the main significance of this Kirchhoff law. So suppose if I have a circuit with one battery over here having an internal resistance R, and you have this as resistance. This many resistance they don't give in the exam. I am taking so that each time you learn something. So this is my R1, this is my R2, this is your R3, this is your R4, and this is your R5. And this is your internal resistance R of the EMF, and EMF is, let us say, E. Okay, now how do we do that? Your first step is distribute the current. What does it mean? It means start from the cell and let a current I flow through it. And remember, whatever current goes out from the battery, the same amount of current should come back to the battery. Okay, don't forget that. Whatever current goes out from the battery, same amount should come back to the battery. Or if it is not happening, that means you are losing charge somewhere, and that is not possible because we have the law of conservation of charge. So if this is your I, let it flow, okay, so this is your I. Now you meet a junction over here. What will you do in the junction? You will consider this as I2 and this as I1, and immediately you will write the junction rule. What is the junction rule? Junction rule is I equals to I1 plus I2. But hang on, what is I2? I can write I2 as I minus I1. So instead of writing I2, I will use I minus I1. So I will consider this as I minus I1. Correct? Now this is your I1. So in R2, I1 flows. I1 continues to flow. There is no junction. So I1 continues to flow. I1 continues to flow. I1 continues to flow. Now here I minus I1 and I1 are coming together. So when you add them up, minus I1 minus plus I1 will get cancelled out. So what you will get? You will get I again. And I was expecting this I because the same I should go back to the battery. This is the first thing you have to do. Distribute the current. Correct? Don't hesitate to attempt the question. It's very easy. Distribute the current. After distributing, you name the points, the vertices. Call this as A. I will go as per the note. A, B, C, D, E, F. E, F. Okay? And then I will write like this. In loop, A, B, C, D, A. A, B, C, D, A. Always come back to the loop. So if you are starting from A, you have to come back to A. A, B, and always don't take the bigger loop. Take the smaller loop. Always take the, how many smallest loop it has? Two smallest loop. Okay? So I will take this loop and I will take this loop. Then only you will get independent equations. Okay, so always take the smallest loop. So in this, how you are moving? Now you are telling the examiner that I am going from A to B, then I am going from B to C, and then I am going from C to D, and then I am going from D to A. And when I am going, I will take into account the potential drop, and at the end I will equate to 0. This is what you are telling as per the Kirchhoff's second law. So I am going from A to B. Now when I am going from A to B, I am encountering a resistance R1 and a current I1. Now since I am going from A to B, I am following the direction of current. I am going downstream, and downstream is taken as negative. So the first term is minus I times of R1. Then I am going from B to C. I am going from B to C, that means I am following the direction of current. That means I am still moving downstream, and the current is I minus I1 multiplied by I4, R4. So it is still negative because I am going downstream, and this is your R4. Now you come like this. Now again you are crossing R5, but now the current has become I, but still you are following the direction of current. That means still you are following downstream. Downstream is negative, so minus I times of R5. And now you are going up. This is you are crossing the internal resistance, but you are crossing the direction of current. You are going downstream, so again minus I times of R. Now you are going from negative to positive, low to high. You are going upstream, so upstream is positive, so plus E equals to 0. If you would have taken the opposite sign convention, this would have become plus, 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 minus. So long you are equating to 0, that will not change the answer. Okay, that is what I was saying. Okay, so this is how we write the equation. Now one more loop is there. Now another loop. Another loop means number of loop equal to number of equation. As simple as that. Number of smaller loop equal to number of equation. Now you start from here. B, E, F, C. So in loop B, E, F, C and come back to B. You have to come back to B. Now start from B. What is this? You are going from B to E. That means you are telling the examiner that I am going from B to E. That is the direction of current. So you are going downstream. So minus I1 times of R2. Downstream minus I1 times of R3. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Nothing from F to C. Nothing. Okay, nothing. So now from C to B. Now here it is. Now from C to B you are going, current is going like this. You are going from C to B. You are going upstream. So plus I minus I1 multiplied by R4. And you have come back to point B. And that is equal to 0. You may get a battery or a cell or you may not. That's no problem. Whatever you are getting, all will add up to 0. So this is how we write two equations. With numbers given to the question, you can start solving for the simultaneous equation to get the value of I and I1. So I will write it again here. Upstream is positive and downstream is negative. Downstream means high to low. Okay, we will discuss one more question over here. Now I will introduce two cells in the same circuit. I like to stop here, and I am saying that this is your EMF E1 and this is your internal resistance R1. Now when you read a question of board exam, they will just say that this internal resistance has, this EMF has an internal resistance. Okay, they will not draw this. So when you are copying the question from the question paper, you are supposed to draw the internal resistance. Otherwise you will lose it. You will forget about this and you will lose your entire marks of the question. And Kirchhoff's law does takes time to solve the question. Okay, question based on this, it takes time. So when the question says EMF has an internal resistance, draw it. They will not give you as a drawn circuit diagram. When you are copying it, you have to draw the internal resistance over there. Okay, now this is your R4. This is your R3. This is your R2. This is E2 having an internal resistance small r2 and nothing from here to here. Whenever 2 EMF is given to you, is always preferred. Mark my word, preferred. Preferred means convenient for us to do it. Okay, you can start a current from here and then you can divide in these two directions and then you will continue, you recombine them and you get the answer. Preferred means if you have two cells, you let current coming out from both the cells. Call them as I1 and I2. Because ISC when give questions, they will mark this as I1 and I2. So I am also teaching like this to you. So preferred is when two batteries are given to you or two cells are given to you, you take the current from both the cells as I1 and I2. Now you let this I1 flow. So this is your I1. I1 comes here at the junction. I2 is coming from this direction. This is your I2, both combines, it will come in this direction. So this becomes I1 plus I2. So this becomes I1 plus I2. Now when they come back here at the junction, it's time from them to get apart now. So remember, don't change. What current coming out from this battery? I2. That means at this junction, I2 should go in this direction, and only the same current will flow back. Okay? And I1 will come in this direction because I1 has gone out from this battery. So I1 will go in this direction. So this becomes your I1. Step 1. Distribute the current. Step 2. Name them A, B, C, D, E, F. Right here. In loop. A, B, C, D, A. Start from A. Now what you are saying to the examiner? You are saying to the examiner that I am going from A to B, then I will go from B to C, then I am going from C to D, then I am going from D to A. So I am going from A to B. A to B means I1 times of R1 minus sign. Why? Because you are going downstream. Then again downstream. So minus I1 plus I2 multiplied by R3. Okay. Then again downstream because you are going in the direction of current. So minus I1 times of R4. So remember, downstream means you are going in the direction of current. Upstream means you are going against the direction of current. Okay. So downstream. This is downstream. You are going from C to D, now you are going from D to A. So you are going in the direction of current, downstream. So minus I1 times of R1. Downstream, downstream. Now you are going from negative to positive, low to high potential, upstream. Upstream is positive. So this is your EMF E. Okay. And this must be equal to 0. In loop. Now some of you may ask the question that I am still moving in the direction of current, so why I am taking this as positive and why I am not taking as negative, because still the current is going in this direction. Remember, in battery we follow a different rule, because battery is a source of current. It has a inbuilt high potential and low potential. The positive terminal is high potential, negative is low potential. So it does not matter how you are moving with respect to current, but whenever you encounter a cell or a battery, and if you are encountering negative first, that means you are encountering low potential, and then you are going from low potential to high potential. So you are going upstream. Okay. So when you go upstream, you are doing work, and so it will be positive. In loop B, E, F, C, B. So B, E, F, C, B. Now you start from here. You are telling the examiner that you are going from B to E. Now you are going from B to E. Now here you are going, but the current is in this direction. You are going from B to E, but the current is flowing in this direction. So the flow of the river is in this direction and you are trying to swim along this direction. So you are going upstream. Upstream is positive. Positive means plus I2 into R2. Okay, now look at here, this is the direction of current, but hang on, you are going to cross a battery here. Now you are going from E to F. So you are going like this, E to F. And you are going from high potential to low potential. Battery, look at the battery. High, don't look at I2. For battery, never look at the current. Look how you are crossing the battery. So for a battery, you are crossing now high to low, downstream. You are going downstream. So minus E2. Now resistance again. So look for the current. Now you are going like this, current is going up. You are going like this, current is going up. Upstream. So plus I2 multiplied by R2. Nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. Remember, you have to come back to B. So you are going here now. So this is how the river is flowing. And you are going like this, upstream. So plus I1 plus I2 multiplied by R3 equals to 0. Okay, so this is how we write. I will discuss one more question with numbers, with the values given to you. The numerical values will be given to you. So here it goes, the next question, and then you should try. See, the only way you can become master in Kirchhoff's law is by practicing questions. Okay, practice questions, then only you will master this. You cannot master this overnight. Spend 2, 3, 4 days in it. Do as many questions as possible. This is 1 ohm internal resistance, junction over here. This is 1 ohm internal resistance. This is 2 ohm. This is 4 ohm. This EMF is 2 volt. This is 4 volt. This is 3 ohm. And this is 2 ohm. So as I told you, if there are two cells, let current come out from there as I1 and I2. So I1 will flow here as I1, it will come here, will meet with I2. So this is my I1, I2 entering the junction, leaving out. So this will be your I1 plus I2. Then I1 plus I2 will flow here also, will come here as I1 plus I2, and let me put 2 arrow marks so that you can get an idea. So now it's time for them to get apart. So who will go here? I2 will go here, because I2 is coming out from the battery. So I2 should come back to the battery. So here this goes I2. So this is your I2, and this goes as I1, and this is your I1 coming back to the battery. And now you name it. Name this as A, B, C, D, E, F. And then you write in loop A, B, C, D, A. Start from A, go to A to B. You are going downstream, flow along the flow of the river. So you will get I1 times of 4. Okay, sorry, minus I1 times of 4. Then you are going, don't look at the current because you are about to enter the battery. Now you are entering the battery. Forget the current. Just look at here. You are going from B to C. You are telling the examiner that you are going from B to C. So when you go to B to C, you are going from the, you are crossing the battery from high to low, downstream. Water flows downstream, correct? High to low. So you are going from high to low, downstream. Downstream is negative. So you will write here as minus 4. Now come back to the logic of current. Now you are crossing this resistance here. You are crossing opposite to the direction of current. Current is flowing from C to B. You are coming from B to C. Remember, don't forget how you are moving. So B to C. You are going down like this. Okay, so you are going upstream. Upstream means plus I2 times of 1. This resistance is 1 ohm. And now here you are going again downstream. So minus I1 times of 2. Now you are crossing this 1 ohm again downstream. So minus I1 times of 1. Okay, now you are going from D to A to reach A, and now while going from D to A, you first encounter the low potential, then you encounter the high potential. So you are going from low to high, low to high, low to high. That means you are going upstream. You are doing work against it. Okay, river is flowing like this. River is flowing from high potential to low potential. You are swimming like this upstream, and that is against the stream. Upstream is against the stream. So you are going in this direction. Water is flowing from high to low. You are going from low to high. So you have to do work. So plus. It takes time to master this, and this will be equal to 0. Okay. So this is minus 4 because you are moving like this, high potential to low potential downstream. So minus, and here you are going from low to high upstream. So you are adding as plus. And if you simplify this equation, you will get this equation as, if you simplify this equation, don't trust my calculations. just do by yourself, but most probably I am correct. So you will get I2 minus 7I1 equals to 2, and you name this as equation 1. Okay, simplify this and you write in this format, and it will be equation 1. Then you write in loop BEFCB. BEFCB. Now you are going from here to here, and you are going from here to here. So you are going downstream. You are going downstream. So minus. So minus I1 plus I2 into 3 minus I1 plus I2 into 2. Nothing, nothing. Here. Still you are going downstream. Okay, you are going like this, downstream. So minus I2 into 1. Okay, and now you are going to cross the battery from C to B, because you are going from C to B. So from C to B, when you cross the battery, you are getting the negative first and then positive. So if you are getting negative first, that means low potential to high potential. So we are going upstream. So plus equals to 0. I'll just give you one small hint if you want to, small trick. When you are crossing a battery, if you are meeting negative first, write positive. Write ulta of what you are meeting first. If you are meeting negative terminal, write positive as the value. If you are meeting negative first, write the positive value of EMF. If you are coming like this, you are meeting the positive first, so you write negative over there. Okay, so just use this trick. Okay, if you simplify this further, what will you get? You will get 5I1 plus 6I2 equals to 4. You call this as equation 2. Now you can see here, there is a I2 over here, and there is a I2 over here. So the best thing is if I multiply this with 6, okay, this equation with 6, and then if I subtract this with this, I get some answer. I get the value of I1. That is how you solve simultaneous equation. So what I am going to do, I am going to multiply equation 1 with 6, and that will become, the equation will become 6I2 minus 48 I1 equals to 12. Okay, and then let me call this as equation 3, and now you subtract equation 3 minus equation 2. Upon subtraction, what will you get? You will get minus 48 I1 minus 5 I1 is equal to 8. So you will get I1 is equal to minus 8 by 53. Now intentionally I have chosen this example to discuss. Many times if you are lucky, you will get positive answer, but sometimes you get negative answer. That does not mean that you have done something wrong. It's absolutely correct. The only difference is the negative sign implies that my assumption of current is wrong. Basically, I1 is not flowing like this, I1 is flowing like this. Okay. So what is supposed to be the direction of I1? I have assumed I1 flowing from A to B, B to C, C to D and B to A. But after calculation, I got that as negative. So basically, it means the current I1 is flowing from B to A to D, D to C and then C to B. Okay. That means that 4 volt is dominating the entire circuit. It is the 4 volt which has overcome the potential of 2 volt. So he is dominating the entire circuit. So he is letting the current to flow in the entire circuit. So that is the meaning of minus sign. But done. Okay, don't change the minus to plus here. If you have got minus, stick to that. This is correct, absolutely correct. On this, the minus sign signifies that it is going in the opposite direction of your assumption. Okay. So I got the value of I1. How will I get the value of I2? Now where is my I2? I2 is here. I2 minus 7I1 is equal to 2. Correct? So if I have to find I2 minus 7, whatever you have assumed, go as per that. Don't do anything, don't change anything. Since because you have got negative, don't start changing anything. Do not change anything. Go as per whatever you have got. You have got I1 as negative, so put minus here, 0.15 equals to 2, and that will give you final answer as. This implies on simplification, you will get the value of I2 as 50 by 3 or 0.94. So you will get the value of I2 as 0.94. So what is the value of I1 plus I2? How much current is flowing in this branch? So I1 plus I2 is what I have assumed here. Okay, no problem. What is I1? I1 you have got as minus 0.15 plus I2 you have got as 0.94, and that will come out as 0.792. 0.79. And this is your I1 plus I2 value. So now you know current in each branch. You know I1, you know I2, you know I1 plus I2. Okay, so this is how we do questions based on Kirchhoff's law. I hope you will practice some questions which I will note in the classroom. I remind you again, if the question says that internal resistance is there for the EMF, if it is not there, they will not mention anything about it. If it is there, when you redraw the circuit to solve it in your copy, make sure you are drawing the internal resistance near that battery, especially near the negative terminal. Okay, so with this, thank you for watching. Please keep playing it again and again till you get the concept. The concept here is this: when you move upstream against the stream, you are doing a work, positive work, and when you are moving in downstream, you are not doing any work, negative work. So downstream is negative, upstream is positive. Okay, so when you go in the direction of current, you are going downstream, negative. When you go against the current, you are going against the stream, so upstream, positive. Okay. And similarly, when you are crossing the battery such that you are encountering the negative terminal first and then coming to the positive terminal, that means you are going from low to high, you are going upstream, positive. If you encounter positive first and then negative terminals later, that means you are going from high to low, you are going downstream, so negative. So downstream negative, upstream positive. Thank you for watching.